From the Ear to There Travel Studio, this is the Ear to There Disney Podcast.
The Ear to There Podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Ear to There, it's time to start the fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There Disney Podcast. I'm your host, Phil Gramlich. I am also the owner and the founder of Ear to There Travel, which is, of course, a Disney specialized travel agency. It's my job, along with all of the vacationeers on the Ear to There Travel team, to take away all of that stress, all that anxiety, and all that time that it takes for you to plan a Disney trip. Because listen, it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of research. Don't do it. Let me or another vacationeer on the team do that for you. So we take all that away so you can focus on the really fun and important things, like having a phenomenal, fantastic, magical time with your family and friends and enjoying the magic. And you can listen to this here podcast, meet all of the vacationeers on the Ear to There Travel team, or request your free no obligation quote over at eartotheretravel.com. Alrighty, this is episode number 181 for the week of September 30th, 2019. Now, grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show. Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Because she will let it go. This is all about the funniest attractions in Walt Disney World. And what better way to start off the funniest attractions in Walt Disney World show than with a fantastic Disney joke. And don't talk, I'm going to introduce my guest today. And when I say guest, I mean my co-host, because she's on almost every episode now. My wife, the lovely, the fabulous, Amy Elizabeth Levitt Gramlich. Ames, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be here, excited to do a funny, fun podcast.
So we've not done, I haven't recorded in a little bit because you and I have both been fighting these colds. And last week I couldn't have recorded. I couldn't.
Could not have. That's
I couldn't
true.
get a sentence out without coughing dramatically and kind of hysterically. That's
a good description.
You went to, and at this point I was like, listen, I got to get a podcast out because I need to be consistent, and I was been extremely inconsistent. So yesterday you went to the doctor.
Correct.
And you have bronchitis.
Also correct.
You're on an inhaler.
I am, and I've never been on an inhaler.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It's like Darth Vader.
I can see why people love the relief that they get from it. It's great.
Yeah, it actually
the kids think it's the coolest thing that they've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know. Now you're like a superhero because you have like some kind of thing.
I know.
And we watched Goonies. The kids watched Goonies for the first time last night.
So on point. It was so on top of it.
And Mikey has his inhaler the whole time.
The whole time, every time he used it, which is like 400 times, every time the kids were like, "Mom, it's just like yours." I think it's the same color and all as mine. It was very
yours is a little more technologically advanced since it's 2019, not 1985.
Surprisingly similar.
So anyway, this episode may be a little bit choppy.
Yes, because as soon as I start laughing, I start coughing, and oddly enough, you do somehow make me laugh sometimes.
Well, it's both a blessing and a curse.
That it is, my friend.
I am hilarious. No, seriously though, I have to what better time to do a funniest attractions episode than when you can't laugh without coughing? You're going to hear a lot of that wheezy laugh in the background.
Sorry, guys. I'm super wheezy. And I do get into coughing fits. So, of cour's, we'll
edit those
out. But I am going to try a little bit to not laugh as much. So I'm sorry if my beautiful laughter is missing from this.
Is that what that is? That's what you call your laughter?
People like
beautiful?
My laugh.
Do they?
Yeah, a lot of people like my laugh.
Name one.
The lady who also liked my spider leggings the other day.
Oh, yeah. Amy has these really cool spider. I'm not going to plug the company where you got them.
No, it doesn't matter.
But it's October, so it's time for Halloween clothes.
Yes.
And Ames has this really cool pair of spider and spider web. Are they called leggings?
Yes, leggings.
Tights, leggings,
Either one.
tight pants,
Either except
hot pants.
They're not hot pants. Definitely not hot pants.
Anyway, let's get to the topic.
Yes.
Those leggings are cool, and you have gotten a lot of
I sell them
compliments.
every time I go out.
Yeah, you should work for that company.
I should, dude.
You start
Oh my
selling those
gosh.
things. Anyway, ladies, just Google it. You can find your own spider hot pants. Let's talk about our favorite, funniest, not our favorite, the funniest, in our opinion, of course. Listen, you might think Space Mountain's the funniest attraction on the
That's
planet.
the thing. I know. When I was making the list,
But I
have
don't.
different reasons for things
I know.
being funny.
You know what, me too, but I went kind of with the standard, they're supposed to be funny, they're funny.
Yeah, I did most of those.
But
not
there's
all.
some that I really laugh on because of the
me too.
reactions of other people.
Right. Oh, yeah. Or like, or my own, just the movement of the ride or what have you, just makes me
I
laugh.
almost made an inappropriate joke. I'm glad I didn't.
Oh my goodness. What's going on?
You can hear my wheezy cough too.
Yeah,
it's still
you
in
do.
there.
He's jealous, guy, so he's trying to get an inhaler.
Yeah,
too.
I'm trying to trying to do the wheezy coughs. But no, what I was just thinking is every roller coaster or fast ride with you is a funny ride.
I was thinking I was going to put something like that. I was going to put one of those. I was actually going to put Radiator Springs Racers
Oh my
on.
God. The picture of you, the first time we rode Radiator Springs Racers in Disneyland in California Adventure. How many years ago was that? 5?
It was,
No, 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago. I was right.
Was the first time we hadn't
I
been
had
out.
never done it.
Right. We hadn't been out to Disneyland in a number of years. And when California Adventure was what word am I looking for?
Revamped?
Refurbished?
No. Refurbished?
Rebuilt?
Whatever.
Yes.
Renovated.
That's a good word. Any of those things.
All of them. All of them work.
We did Radiator Springs Racers. And I did explain to you, I was like, it's test track. Basically that kind of system, that's ride system. It's not as fast as test track. There are some like hills, like little hills, and it's fun. It's cars.
But our mutual friend that we were with really watered down the description.
He did.
He was like, it is so easy. You are going to love it. It's not going to be scary. Like, he definitely did it on purpose. And that's
He
not the
apparently
first
was
time
from
that
an
he's done
80s
that.
Valley Girl movie
Yeah, he was
when
a
he
little
was doing that.
Valley-ish. Very little Valley-ish.
Like, for real.
But
you're going
he does it all the time.
love
Like,
it.
I don't know why I believe it every time he does it.
No,
because
you
he does
always
it
believe
all
him.
the time.
I don't know why you trust him.
I don't know
He's
either.
a big fat liar to you.
Yeah, he does it because he loves when I scream.
He loves you being
That's
terrified.
like why he goes.
No, it's
right with me.
that's like his reason for a living when we get out to California.
It's really true.
Is that he just likes to laugh at you
Because
while
I'm
you
not just like,
scream hysterically.
oh, this is scary. I'm like screaming and like.
My favorite thing that he does too, and you can picture the people that do this, he literally buries his hands in his face. His face in his hands when he's laughing. He laughs so hard.
Because I say a lot of things.
Oh yeah, you like
You know,
curse.
I don't like. Oh, I curse abundantly.
It's
And
tough
I'm
to have
like,
our
I don't like
kids.
this. I don't know why I'm doing this. Why did I do this one? Oh, this is not.
Anyway.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right,
it's a lot of things.
It's hilarious. So let's.
But
so
I didn't put any of those on.
No, I didn't either. Even though
That's like a personal.
all right, so we already went into that. So let's talk about the true funny attractions.
Okay.
And I want to say, since you're the guest, but you're not really a guest. So like, this is pretty much your show too these days. And since certain guests don't come on much anymore, you know who you know who I'm talking about.
Well, it's through no fault of
Initials, Mr. Initials, Mr. Anyway, one of my favorite co-hosts and guests we haven't heard in an awful long time on the show. But no, it's not his fault. He's just a busy man now.
He's a busy guy, dude.
Things are up and coming and moving for him in the right way. All right, let's talk about your first favorite. Not favorite. Why do I keep saying favorite? Funniest, according to Ames.
Yes.
Funniest Walt Disney World attraction. And I kept mine strictly in Walt Disney World.
So did I.
Good. Go.
Okay. So when you first said, what do you think of this topic? I was like, I love it. And so this was the first one I thought of, obviously for very obvious reasons. And this Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. And
I had a feeling you were going to start off with that.
Yeah, you have to, because you can't do this podcast without that.
No, we've talked about that. We've talked about this one a lot.
We're not going to go into it too much.
I think it's good to go into it. I think a lot of people, for some reason, still think it's a boring little theater show and walk right by it.
Totally agree that people think that. And the thing is, and I get that they have like their main shticks that they don't change.
Yeah, there's
like
things.
They have that guy and they have the dancing guy. They have that every time. But everything else.
And Roz, I'm watching Wazowski.
Right, and like a little video
watching.
with Mike falling and things hitting him.
Yeah, that happens every show.
That stuff's funny every time, no matter what. But also the show is so different every time. First of all, they have a bunch of different things that they do. They have
and it's so
formats.
Dependent on the audience.
And it's completely. That's the second part. Completely dependent on
the monsters are so good thinking on their feet, and just the jokes are boom, boom.
Like, it's unbelievable. It's almost like you're going to. It's completely like you're going to an improv.
Yeah,
show.
An improv comedy show. That's what it is, and that's why I think we love it. It's like improv comedy.
And it's totally family friendly and family appropriate, and it's great. But yeah, I mean, they completely tailor it to who they pick, and what that person says and does, and they can put them into the show like more than once. And it's so fast. It's hilarious.
I have so much respect for improv comedians in general, but they're seeing the monsters are on the screen, voiced by. I'm sorry, spoiler alert, voiced by a cast member somewhere backstage.
Right.
They're looking through a video screen and interacting with people. It's completely incredible and impressive that they can have that level of interactivity.
Right.
From that, with that technology. It blows me away every time.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And I love that guy. I love that guy.
I love that guy.
It's almost better when he's a grouch.
Oh,
when that guy doesn't really want to do it.
Oh, it's way better when he's a crush. And the best, we just had like the most fun experience the last time we went. It wasn't that guy, it was the dancing guy.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. It was this like dad, very clearly a dad with his teenage daughter, and she was sitting right next to him, and they put it on him, and her face was the face of every teenage girl who's embarrassed by their parents.
Or every one of my children when they go to the parks with me.
But she was like exactly like 13, like the exact teenage age when you're
tough.
Like so embarrassed. Like she couldn't even believe she was at the show with her dad, no less he's dancing next to her. And so the first time he like kind of danced, but then he noticed her face.
Yeah.
So then the next time
I would have done the same thing.
Into it. Oh, it was hysterical. That's the kind of
What are we here for if it's not to embarrass our children? Seriously.
There's no reason. No other reason.
My dad used to embarrass the heck out of me when I was a kid.
Job,
my mom, I mean, yeah, you got to do that.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Because then they'll do it to their kids.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just funny. And like Bob Jackson always says, you'll never see these people again in your life.
It's so true.
It's a great show.
And I'm sorry.
It's so much fun. No, talk away, man.
No, just the other thing that changes, obviously, is the jokes that you can put in. So, I mean, first of all, we have talked about this a lot, that for some reason we always get a joke in. One of our jokes almost always gets in.
Because we kill it. We're just funny people.
We do. We really do.
We have funny kids. It's a funny family.
We research and we really pick.
Yeah, we know what
we take a long time.
We do.
Right? Picking.
I mean, we start thinking that when we're going to Magic Kingdom, we start thinking like the night before what jokes we're going to put in.
It's planning stages, yeah.
Yeah, we're not fly by the seat of our pants people.
Oh no, we have like 4 options picked out.
We're like voting on the jokes to send in.
Well, we totally vote. But that
like my joke to Elsa, Let It Go. We've gotten that one on the show.
We have
the one I started the show with.
That totally changes. That whole section every time obviously is completely different depending on what jokes people send in, and it's just so fun.
It's so good. That's Marty Wazowski that does the people jokes,
he's
right?
Adorable.
Oh, it's funny. All right, so that's a great one to start
with. He's
like
Robin the Muppets. He's like that kind of guy, right?
Robin's lame.
Yeah,
Marty Wazowski is way cooler than Robin.
He's funnier.
Name me one positive thing Robin's ever done in the Muppets.
No, I don't like Robin.
He just sits there complaining, all grumpy.
He is a complainer.
He just complains. He sits next to the camera and he's like, Uncle Kermit, we're running out of nachos. And you're like, what's going on, Robin?
They eat nachos?
I don't know. It's the first thing I can think of. Wheezy cougher over here. Can we get through it?
I got it.
All right,
I got it back together.
Let's get my first pick.
Okay, you do your first.
Mine's going to be it's going to be a weird one. You're not going to see this coming.
I can't wait.
My first one, it's tough to be a bug. For funniest subject. Do you have it on your list?
I have that. No, we'll tag team it. That's so funny.
Okay, I guess I don't get to go. So, are you going to make it? You're going to have to take a break? Okay, good. So, it's tough to be a bug. No, we should definitely tag team it. It's both hilarious.
No, that is hysterical.
What?
That is a hysterical.
It's hilarious. I was like, what are you talking about?
It's really funny.
I thought maybe you were going like off the show for a minute. I didn't know what you were doing. Excuse me. That's a really, really, really funny show.
It's so funny.
And some of it's intentionally funny. And there's a whole other element that we'll get to, I think, in a couple of minutes.
A bunch of it is
that's completely unintentionally funny. But yeah, it's really funny. Like you sit down in a dark theater. Already, you should start to think
Right, that's a good
this
point.
might not be for everyone.
They are setting you up.
Because it's surprising, because it's a 3D show about a Pixar movie that's very, very, very appealing to kids.
Absolutely.
Right? Sure, Hopper is kind of a scary villain, but he's not like Maleficent scary, or he's not like...
Right, he's not on that level.
Yeah, he's not like you're not going to watch it and be like, oh, that really creeped me out.
Or of like a scar.
No, exactly. So you sit down and the show, it's really fun, but it's dark, which already scares people. But it's hilarious.
Absolutely.
So what happens is all the effects are what makes it really funny, because all the effects that happen are super unexpected. Like, you're going to get a 3D show.
It's totally unexpected. Now, I think also, too, they
But
love
again,
you into
I'm
it.
sorry to interrupt you. We've done it, what do you think, 30 times over the years?
Probably.
So we know everything that's coming.
Right.
But it's still, our kids forget.
Every time.
And there's so many people in that theater every single time that have no idea what's going to happen.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree.
Including you.
And that's also
I
true.
think you forget every time.
I don't always remember. But no, I feel like they lull you into it as well, because in the beginning they do end up doing like they start with, the typical
pollinators,
stuff. It's like a little thing.
pollinators.
And
It's like
then-
fun.
Yeah, it's like cute. And
Yeah, there's like the little
things
butterflies.
Like
It's kind of cute.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's like that stink bug is in the beginning, right? Where
He's
it's
like in the middle, I think, the
crazy
stink bug.
smell
But
with the water, so you're like, oh, this is just like any other 3D show. No, it's not.
well, the first thing they do, the first one that makes me crack up laughing, but it makes people scream, is when they shoot the thorns. It's
Yes.
I think it's Cheech Marin does the voice for the bug.
Yes.
And he's like, okay, Flick, here I come. And they do like it's like, and they shoot the thorns into the crowd. And the thorn that he's shooting, the quill, it's a spider, right? Yeah, it's a spider. The quill looks like it's going to hit you in the face. And then right before it feels like it's going to hit you, this jet of air shoots you right in the face. You're like, whoa! And that really gets you. Yeah.
And that's unusual.
And you start laughing at that. And
Yeah.
then it's just, you're going downhill for the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah, it's
Like,
hilarious.
then it's just hilarious. Like, the stink bug is hilarious.
That is hilarious.
There's the acid bug that spits the acid on you.
I forgot about him.
And you get
right.
wet.
See,
And then there's the big issue.
Right.
This is when after Hopper comes into the theater, he decides he's going to treat all the honorary bugs, who are the guests like us, like real bugs, and exterminate them.
That is true.
So when it gets pitch black, then the smoke from the bug spray starts filling the theater.
So already,
yes,
you're
the
concerned.
screams
yes,
of anybody under 10 starts just filling the theater.
Oh yes,
Which is another hilarious part of the show.
it is hysterical.
Is all these kids start screaming and crying.
Yes.
And we're not sadistic people.
No.
And we didn't tell the parents to bring their kids in.
Right.
It's so funny.
It's happened with our kids,
Yeah.
and I laugh even though I feel bad for them, and they're crawling inside my shirt.
Yeah.
It's still funny.
And then the spiders come down.
The spiders are what do it in. I think that's a
Like, it's a little scary with the fly swatter.
Fly down.
You know the fly
And they're
swatter?
big.
It's
Oh yeah, the fly swatter.
the fly swatter
another
starts.
air in your face.
Yeah. Air, and it's the visual on the
Right.
screen
Right.
of the person with the fly swatter kind of hitting you in the face.
Yes.
And then it gets darker, and then the spiders come down.
That's where
When
you
the Black Widow
forgot.
spiders start hanging from the ceiling, the kids are hysterical. That is it.
But then sometimes they're like really sobbing, and then you feel bad.
Yeah, I guess so. No, I do feel bad, of course.
Sure.
But again, this is why you should listen to this podcast and other Disney podcasts.
Don't bring
No,
your-
don't listen to
bring
any
your
other
kids
ones.
in. No, just listen to this one. It's perfect. Even
But-
with my wheezing. But go ahead and don't bring your kids in though if they are at all scared
Yeah, but
of anything.
you know
that we
what?
just
Bring
discussed.
them anyway. It's funny.
They'll
It's
be fine.
hilarious.
It
All right.
is a very short show.
It is. It's like 6 minutes. You're
Yeah,
good.
of like your life of the whole day.
Yeah.
Just do it early. And
Don't
then
worry
do other
about
fun things.
yeah, right. Don't worry about it ruining the rest of your day. It won't. I promise. All right. So definitely do that one. All right, Ace,
Yes.
I think we're like 17 minutes in and we've done 2. We got to move a little bit.
We tag team that.
Oh, that's true. So that kind of
so
got
we're
2 out of the
cool.
way.
But okay, I have my next one. So my next one is kind of completely what I was describing in terms of it's not really an actual funny attraction, but it makes me laugh harder than almost anything I do every time I'm on it, which is alien swirling saucers. because
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's not on my list.
hysterical. I mean, I just laugh so hard because it's so deceiving, right? And I
It really,
understand-
no, I think it's exactly,
understand
that's
that
a
it's
perfect word.
whip or whatever. Like, it's not like it's a brand new technology, but I'm surprised by it every time. And yeah, it just looks like, oh, it's fun. It like goes around in a circle, and they play like really fun, like techno versions of Toy Story songs. Already that sounds fun, right?
Yeah, it's cute,
it.
fun.
So you get on though, and you're just like going, and then
Well, the first couple turns are pretty mild.
they're very mild.
And even the strongest turns aren't like strong,
They're not
but they're
scary at
enough
all.
to surprise you.
They,
like it surprises
they surprise you. They slide you over.
Yeah, you're
into
smashing
whoever
the
you're
kids.
sitting with. Yes, it is. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
I hear you when I'm usually on, you're on with one or two of the kids.
Right.
I'm on with the other one or two.
Right.
And over the music, over the other people, I hear you laughing hysterically because you're always kind of caught off guard.
Every time.
Same way with the tomato one out in California Adventure.
It's the same thing, and I
You're
laugh,
just
oh my
completely
God.
shocked that you're moving that fast.
If you go so fast,
It's not as fast as much as I laughed at you when Hershey Park last year when we rode the real whip. You didn't see that coming at all. You were screaming at the top of your lungs on that whip. It was crazy.
but I don't mind it. That's one thing that like I don't mind. I think that's a pleasant sensation. Like,
Yeah.
it's a funny.
No, you were really, but this one, you laughed so hard.
Yes, it's
And
hilarious.
I really
and
think
it's really fun. It's really cute and fun. I don't think
it is fun.
I think it's underrated. Is what I'm trying to.
You know
tell
what it is? It's a tough one because you can see it from the outside, so you know
No, you're right.
you know exactly what it's going to be.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people, it gets a bad rap because I think people think it's just a whip ride, and it kind of is. But you need rides that this is what I think a lot of people forget about in Walt Disney World. It's Walt Disney World's there for the whole family, right? So not everything can be a Smuggler's Run,
Right.
or a Slinky Dog Dash, or a Rise of the Resistance. You need stuff for everyone.
No, exactly. No, I totally agree
Like,
with that.
so what are you going to do? You're going to put another spinner in there?
Right.
Or you're going to put a little train in there?
No, because this is
Or do you
so
put this
different.
in? Yeah, it's a completely different ride.
Totally unique.
I love it. I laugh. I laugh hysterically. The kids laugh hysterically.
Oh, they love. But I've also never talked to anyone who did
No,
end up doing it, who didn't love
no.
it.
When you watch people get off,
Oh, they love it.
go
They're
through
all
the exit of
cracking
the
up.
attraction, everyone's laughing.
That was hysterical.
Young, old, little kids, adults, all laughing.
Absolutely.
It's really well done. It's just really funny. I love it. That's a great pick. I love that one.
Oh,
And it's not on my
thank you.
list. So,
Good. I didn't think it would be.
all right. So my next one, I'm going to do a slow build
Oh, I like this.
towards my funniest.
That's exciting. Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to start
all right,
with
fair
the
enough.
least funny, but very funny, and then go up to the funniest one. So, all right. This one's kind of going to sound weird to you, but I'm going with over at Hollywood Studios, Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. That's one of the
Oh.
funniest attractions.
I never thought of that. No, that's a great pick.
Right.
I
You don't
really
think about
never
that as
thought
a
of
really
it.
funny attraction.
I like that.
But the whole part where the guests get to come on stage and interact
Yes.
with
Oh, that part's fantastic.
the stunt performers on the show
Right.
is the best. It's been there since Hollywood Studios, not since it opened, but since pretty soon after it opened. So it's been there for 30 years, this attraction.
Yes.
And they've been getting volunteers from the audience every show forever.
Every show. Right.
And if you haven't if you haven't seen the show,
You don't ride, I don't think.
maybe hit the skip ahead 30 seconds right now on your phone or on your listening device you're using, because this is going to be a spoiler
It's a spoiler alert.
if you haven't seen the beginning of the show. So this is, okay, you have ample opportunity
Okay.
to skip.
Pause it.
Plus, you have this warning.
Or skip it.
You have this warning, and you've had the last 30 years to get ready for this spoiler.
That's a good point.
So the guy that's the plant from the audience in the Hawaiian shirt that, is actually another stuntman that's in the show with you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Of course, I know exactly.
It is one of my favorite things.
It's the best. It's the best part.
It's so funny because,
I love that you thought that I didn't know.
well, you were looking at me kind of weirdly, and I was like, I don't know. Does she know what I'm talking about?
listening to the description.
No, I know. All right. So we have to hurry up this guy. I said 30 seconds. Now people are going to be putting it on to me. I'm like,
Well, hurry up.
spoilers!
Spoiled.
So anyway, so he's in a Hawaiian shirt. He has the turban on. And when the girl stunt woman punches him, and he drops and he's knocked out.
Right.
And then he does the flips and all. It's so good.
It totally catches you by surprise.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen it, if you've never seen it, like I know, I would say like everyone's been to Walt Disney World, but they haven't been.
No.
Because I book trips for first timers all the time.
You really do, which is so fun, by the
yeah,
way.
it's the best part of my job. It really is.
Of course it is.
Because getting people because listen to how I talk about it.
Right.
Imagine being on the phone with me, getting ready for a trip, and this is how I'm talking. People are like thrilled. So anyway, yeah, it's so funny every time.
It's hysterical.
It's so funny. The guy's always like an over the top kind of ham it up.
Oh, he
kind of stunt performer. He's always good, always funny, always great with the body language. And the girl who plays Marion, whoever it is, the stunt woman in that part, is always good. Sells it completely.
Oh yeah, she's fabulous.
Like, and they make fun of him for being a wimp because he it's so good. So and it's not just that part. Like, there's other really funny parts in the show. Like, there's a part when the big German muscle man guy, like just like in the movie in Raiders of the Lost Ark, has to fight Harrison Ford. So in the Harrison Ford's stunt double in the show,
right?
So when he walks up behind Harrison Ford's stunt double and he turns around and he sees him and he like reacts and it's whoa, the whole place like reacts. It's a funny part.
It's great. It is a funny.
So, and listen, I'm a huge.
The whole show is great and it's super underrated.
I agree. And people were always like, well, when they, the next thing since Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is being finished,
right, is
since they own Indiana Jones, since Disney does, let's get that out of there and put in a ride, an attraction. Listen, I'm okay with that show being there forever. I still love it.
Me too. It's still great.
I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we were supposed to go see it this past weekend at the movies with the kids for the first time. Raiders of the Lost Ark was in the movies, but we had a sick dog, so we couldn't go. Seems like always somebody's always sick.
Yeah, we have a rough time trying to go to things.
Yeah, just don't ever buy tickets for us for anything. If you're going to buy a present, never.
Oh, we haven't made the last like 10 shows.
Comedians and concerts. We used to buy tickets to comedians and stand-up comedians and concerts all the time. We never buy them anymore.
It's just not worth it.
We just can't.
We never make it.
Like if somebody, when we can make it. If somebody called them like right now, and it was like, you have a concert tonight. We'll be like, okay.
All right, we're in.
But if it's planned in ahead, forget it.
Tomorrow? Nope, we're not making it.
Somebody's getting sick. Anyway, so Indiana Jones epic stunt spectacular.
Yeah, that's a great pick, Phil.
To me, is very funny. Thank you, Ames. You're
welcome. Up. Okay, so I have another unusual one. I'll save my other one for last. You know what? I'm going to do this one now. But this is really, really funny.
You're talking to yourself a little bit.
I am. Right? I do. So I don't know. Obviously, you guys don't all know. Some of you do. I just talk to myself all day.
Constantly.
And it's really funny because Phil will just be like in the room with me and he'll be like, is this something that you want to talk to me about? Or is it cool that I'm not listening because
is this
I'm
just
doing
you?
work? And I'm like, no, I don't need you at all for this. Just let me go. So sorry, guys. You got a little taste of that. But so I'm going to pick this one. And it is Turtle Talk with Crush.
Nice. On my list. But I also picked 10. So I have plenty of backups.
Right.
So
Turtle Talk with Crush. Okay, so
a lot like Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
That's
in the interaction. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually did not have this initially, but right now we were just talking about Monsters Inc. I was like, oh, I have to put Turtle Talk.
Look at you making lists on the fly.
I had to because
you're like
it's
a
so
radio
good.
DJ. It's like making up shows as you go.
If you're ever not able to do the show at all, I could totally carry this.
Yeah, you got it.
Myself.
I'm confident now.
You are?
Yeah, you can do this by yourself.
That's surprising.
Don't though, because then people like me more, and then I'm screwed.
Oh, please. Anyway, now I'm going to start coughing. So Turtle Talk with Crush. So I will tell you guys, and I know we're doing Disney World, and that's fine. They're very similar. But
it's the same show.
It's the same show.
Well, no, it's a little different, but very
same
similar.
idea. So, but the only reason I'm using it as an example is to tell you that when we were in Disneyland, we did it 3 times.
Yeah. It's one of our kids' favorites, so we make sure we do it a bunch.
It is, and it obviously is completely different every time. Same idea where it's the same type of like
there's like a skeleton of the show, and then the rest of it's all filled in
and it is really, really ad lib. I mean, it's amazing how much improv and ad lib they do, or he does. But it's great, and obviously the kids and adult involvement. But yeah, when we saw it 3 different times, I was just so impressed with just how hilarious it was every time.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, it was just, it's great. The people who do it are so talented, and it's a great show. Don't miss it. So we've described it. I feel like we've described it a lot, but so you go in, if you have kids, with you, they sit in the front and then you sit behind them. You can still see them and all. And there's only one exit, so don't worry. But, and they obviously are more likely to get picked to either have him ask them a question or they can ask him a question. And it's awesome, but there also is a really good amount of adult involvement.
Yeah, because they talk to the kids' parents a lot.
And also just sometimes they just pick it up.
Yeah, that's the best part. Because I remember the last time we saw it, he picked somebody in the back of the room.
Oh, yes.
And Crush, I can't do a Crush accent, so I won't even try, but he was like, look at you, dude. He's like, you back there in the green shell. And then he's like, you're thinking, oh my God, I sat all the way in the back so the turtle would have picked me.
Yes, I remember that. But it was so cool too because, obviously we saw it 3 times this time. And in general, we've seen the show 50 times, I would say.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And what was great was...
easily 50.
Yes. And what was great was,
because it's something you can take little kids to and they get a kick out of it. And over the years, our kids, as they've grown up, have just gotten more of a kick out of it.
Oh, yeah, because they ramp it up because they can think of, more interesting questions and more outlandish things.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool. But so...
I'll tell you what helps to get your kid picked, Mickey ears.
Absolutely.
Mickey ears, mini headband bow with the ears.
The more elaborate,
yeah,
the better, because he can just see them really easily. And so the best thing for me, the very last time that we saw it, was, a lot of, people will ask different things, but you get a lot of the same questions because they're just, typical and, the things that you would think of, like, Crush, what's your favorite kind of food? Are you married? That kind of thing. But it was so fabulous because the very last time we were there, somebody said, I think a woman asked, what are your kids' names?
Yeah, and he has how many kids? 100 and something?
It's like 150, and he had it.
Oh, it was remarkable.
It was unbelievable.
I've never seen anything like that. He rattled off probably 70 names.
He definitely did. Oh my gosh. And then he just started saying, what did he say? Crush Jr.?
Crush Jr., Crush Jr., Jr., Crush Jr., Crush Jr., Jr.
But then he did other real names, so many, and he had it, man. And it was...
He named all the people on Friends, the people on Seinfeld.
Yes, it was all characters.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yes!
But he just went, he went on for 3-4 minutes just doing names. It was brilliant.
He just brought the place down. Every kid, every adult was just screaming with laughter.
So right there was one of those spots where we edited because we both went into a coughing fit.
It was
horrible.
This is a little crazy.
All right, so let's get back to it.
But you know what, guys? We haven't been here in a while.
The show must go on.
Let you down.
You got to record.
Right, the show must go on.
What are you going to do? I was this week, I want to get ahead of the podcast. I want to record 6 episodes this week, and we both got sick.
That is true.
So anyway, is it my turn? It's my turn.
It is your turn, my friend.
So, yeah, Enchanted Talk. I was going to say Enchanted Talk with Crush. That's all right.
That's all right.
Turtle Talk with Crush. But let's go to that one next. Enchanted Tales with Belle.
No, that's my last one.
All right. Well, what do you want me to do for you?
Okay.
All right. No. I'll leave it. Well, now we know
that's so hysterical.
We know where we're going. So I will go to this one. Enchanted Talk with Crush.
Yes, going on.
He's like, I'm a princess, dude. All right, let's go with this one. For the first time in forever, Frozen sing along.
Oh my gosh, how did I not put
I thought that would be your number one. I don't know how you didn't remember.
I just didn't. And what's funny is I said to myself, I should look at the list of attractions so I'm not forgetting something.
Look at the big brain on Ames.
But I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I did. I know I did, actually. And I only got through C because then I realized the rest of mine.
Okay, but you still messed up.
I did.
You done messed up.
That is the funniest
AA
attraction ever.
You done messed up, AA Ron.
And oh my goodness. I don't
you don't even know what that is.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's so funny. It's a Key and Peele skit.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so for the first time in forever, Frozen sing along. I want to talk about it because we've talked about this on the show before, but you can chime in if you would like.
I love it.
I'll allow that.
I would love to.
I'm going to allow it. Remember that it was John Mulaney when he talks about Law and Order?
Oh, yes.
It's like this. There's a stand-up comedian. If you don't know who I'm talking about, his name's John Mulaney. Super, super funny. And he talks about Law and Order. And he says that, Law and Order has these New York City characters that are just so unlike any people in real life. He's like judge who will allow anything. And he's like, I'm going to allow it, but watch yourself, McCoy. And then it's the New York City bartender who remembers everyone. They're like, oh, yeah, blue shirt lady. Nice lady. She came in here at 7:03 on Friday night. It's so funny. Anyway, let's talk about, for the first time in forever, the Frozen Sing-Along show in Hollywood Studios. Great show. When you hear sing-along, if you haven't seen the show, you probably think it's a sing-along, and that's all it is.
You just go in, sing the songs, and leave.
Yeah, that's not what it is at all.
Mm-mm.
That's a part of it, but the best part of the show are the royal historians of Arendelle who tell the story of Frozen with so many pop culture references and jokes.
And they change it all the time to keep it super on task. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's super like
relevant.
Topical and relevant.
Yeah, topical. Yeah. Thank you, topical.
Yeah, topical. I always remember that because it could be a cream for your arm for topical treatments, or it's of the topics of today.
And it's ironic because you would never use a topical cream.
No, they're never touching cream ever. Nope. I was having trouble with like the kids' slime.
I know you were.
Oh, dude, no way.
It was putty.
No, the putty I can do.
Oh, it's the slime.
When the kids like bring home slime from a birthday party, I'm like, get that out of my house. I can't touch that.
Most people are like, no, it's going to mess up my house. He doesn't care. He's just like, no, I can't. Don't, because they always want to freak him out. So they always try to like put it on his arm.
They like put it on my arm and like put it in my hand when I'm not looking. Gross. Anyway, so the royal historians are the best part of the show, right?
Hands down they are.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy it for your kids because your kids are going to get to sing the songs at the top of their lungs.
Sure.
Which, by the way, there's always a grumpy person somewhere near you that gives you dirty looks when your kids are singing.
I was going to say that next.
It drives
me
nuts.
crazy.
It's a sing-along show.
And they say in the beginning, sing as loud as you can. We don't care. That's what we're here for. Don't go.
Right, exactly.
If you're going to be irritated by my kids screaming, let it go at the top of their lungs, don't come.
Listen, I know we don't have perfect children, but they're darn near perfect. No, I'm kidding.
Has nothing to do with that. No, I've gotten looks.
I know. Like, the show was made for singing. That's what it's called. It's a sing-along show.
Right. You're there to have fun.
And everybody knows all the words from the Frozen songs because it was like the most popular movie in the last 20 years for Disney. So anyway.
And if you're not a Frozen fan, why are you at the show?
Exactly right.
Just go to a different show.
Yeah, you grump. Anyway.
There are like 10 shows right around it. Just skip
there's a lot of shows in Hollywood Studios.
Right.
Just go to a different one.
Right, exactly.
So anyway, this is a great show. They carry the show the entire time. Their jokes are hilarious. They play so well together.
And they're never the same jokes.
No, there's like a script, but then they just ad-lib a ton.
But I mean, there's so much new stuff, different stuff every time.
Now, the guy, I don't know his name in his story, but his name in real life, the cast member's name is Ben. And he is the funniest. He used to be in Hoop to Do Musical Review.
That's right.
He was, 2-bit?
Yeah, 2-bit.
Yeah, so he played him for years. I remember seeing him a bunch of times.
That's so funny.
Now he plays one of the royal historians. Man, I can't remember the historians' names, but he's excellent in the show.
I can't either.
And I feel horrible because I didn't do enough research to look up the names, but the lady who is the cast member, the female cast member who works with Ben the best.
Starts with an A. I can't remember her name.
She worked in Disney, but she was a cast member, but not a talent. She wasn't like an actor, an actress,
right?
Or any kind of on stage role. She was like a secretary. Seriously,
I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
and she was hilarious. And people recommended, just always said how funny she was and how she should be on stage somewhere. And when this position was created, when this show was made, she did the audition and got it. And she had no background. She had no background in, as far as I know, in like front-facing, audience-facing, and she's hilarious.
She breaks down the show every time.
They're both so good, and their jokes and their facial expressions, and they just work so well together.
They do, and they they go on the fly so much. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember the one time we were there, and I don't know what happened. Like, the top button of his shirt somehow got
his shirt got untucked. Yeah.
And she made this immediately in 1 second. Made this whole joke about
it. And then she just kept going. Yeah, she just ripped them the whole show about the shirt.
It was so great, and that was funny. Totally random. Like, that just happened.
And he was cracking up. He couldn't keep a straight face
because it was all new. He had never heard it.
So he was dying the entire time. You know what's funny? I think I've seen that before. I've seen that again because I think they made that a part of the show. Seriously,
because it was so hilarious.
It was really funny. Yeah. So anyway, so go see it. It's a great show.
That is a great show.
And I cannot believe it wasn't on your list.
I can't believe I just forgot about it.
And it's something that you don't have to get a fast pass for. You can kind of just wander into.
That's the greatest
Just
thing.
look at the times and show up 10 minutes before it starts. You'll get a seat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Enchanted Talk with Crush now? No. So I had Enchanted Talk with
I don't know
Bella.
how I did that. That
So
was so funny.
well,
I think
you
I was
just-
reading Enchanted Tales with
That's what it
Bella
was.
and I was talking about Crush.
Isn't that so weird when that happens?
Your
Like,
brain is a crazy thing.
when someone is talking to you and you're reading,
And you just
You combine
respond
them.
with what you read.
so weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah,
Like you'll be reading something on your phone and
totally.
somebody's talking to you and you're reading about like World War II and somebody's like, hey, I asked you, what did you want for breakfast? And you're like, Germany. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so go ahead.
That's so true.
Now I can't speak. Enchanted
Oh, gosh.
Tales
Oh, no.
with Belle.
Oh, my. This
That
is
was-
my life, you guys.
That was weird. Go ahead.
Okay, so. Sorry. All right. So, Enchanted Tales with Belle, I'm so glad that you had it on there, too, so we can tag team it. It's my last pick because I feel like it's unexpected, again, underrated. People don't talk about it a lot. But it is so funny because obviously they pick different.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I want to get this out at the top
Please do.
of it. It's not fun. It's not a funny scripted attraction at all.
No, that's what's so funny
It's
about it.
completely dependent on the people playing the roles.
Absolutely.
The guests.
But I've never gotten a not laugh.
No, I've laughed every single time.
Absolutely.
But I think it's just completely open to however the audience or the guests choose to play the roles that they have.
that's what's so great
That's what
about
makes it funny.
Absolutely. So, yeah, no, that's what's so great about it is it just totally depends on, the kids and the adults that they pick. And it's great. And it's, unexpected laughter, I think, a lot because it's just like a kid is so excited to do something and then they get up and they
Free. You completely freeze.
Completely
It's happened to our kids a bunch.
or they ham it up or whatever. Oh yeah. And but I think that especially the adults, like when they pick adults for like the marching, what is it? The suits of armor.
Yeah.
They're always hysterical.
Used to only pick men. Now they pick women, men too. It's weird.
They pick anyone now. Not usually kids.
Mm-mm.
But the best two.
That's when they choose to embarrass adults.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
But the best two, I always think this is so funny, is not every kid can get picked for one of the main parts. And so what's so wonderful about it is because it's Disney, no matter what, even if you don't get one of the main parts, you can be in it.
You're in the show. If you want to be in the show, you're in the show.
So you can be, so then they give them like a plate or they give them like a salt shaker or whatever.
A picture frame, some of them.
Right, a picture frame. So the best is when, and sometimes these are our kids and sometimes it's other kids. The best is when like someone was psyched, like they were going to be the beast and they were like ready to be like, so awesome and into it. And they get like a plate, but they
fork.
just start, or a fork, but it doesn't matter. They just do it anyway. And they're like dancing with the fork and like their personalities.
Yeah,
shine
it makes
through.
it's exactly right.
And they're like the
It's so
best
funny.
dancing fork that you've ever seen, and it's so funny.
That's why the kids make it. They're so good. The kids in that show every time because they get to be on stage like in Walt Disney World. In
And
Magic
then they get
Kingdom.
to meet Belle.
Yeah, the Beast gets to dance with Belle. That's the best part.
Oh, that is the best.
We've had. I think Alexa was the
She
Beast.
was.
Yeah.
She was wearing a Belle dress.
Yes, and she got to dance with Belle. That was really cool.
It was amazing. But I do have to tell just a personal hysterical story very quickly about it, which is, so at the end, yes, you can, whether or not you're in the show, if you're a child and you want to meet Belle, you can go up and get introduced and then you can take a picture with her and she gives you a bookmark. It's a very cool moment. And so Zoe was not in the show. She chose not to participate. She just sat on our laps. And then I said, but Jack and Alexa were in it. And I said, do you want to meet Belle? And she said, no. And I said, are you sure? And she said, I definitely don't want to meet Belle. I'm just going to sit with you. So I said, okay, great. And then, of course, at the last minute, when Alexa was going up, Zoe runs up, but they always introduce the kids they always get their names, and then to Belle they say, hi, this is Alexa. So she says, hi, Princess Alexa. And so they asked Zoe her name, but she was so shy that she didn't say anything. So they said, here is Alexa and a princess from a faraway land.
Yeah, but at least they're ready for that, right? Like, it's really cool.
So great. They have a plan just in case. That must not have been
Your
the first
kids
time.
your kids aren't always going to go according to plan. Like, they're not going to. It's so often that they just don't. Not that they're not listening, but they get super shy, and then they get
starstruck.
The guts
too.
to oh yeah, it's complete starstruck.
Of course.
I actually got starstruck once recently. We were at Magic Kingdom, and I was reading the plaque at Gaston's Tavern.
I remember this.
Out of his statue, and I turned, and over my shoulder there's Gaston.
He was just hanging out.
He's just watching me read it, and I turned, and he was like, yes, they've built that statue of me here in this town. And I was like,
so cool.
I didn't know what to do. I was just completely...
It's Gaston talking to you.
Yeah, like I was completely like dumbfounded. And everybody around me was laughing because like there was like 30 people laughing at me because they had seen him come up behind me.
Right.
I had no idea he was standing there because I'm like reading the plaque to like Zoe. Right. And I turn and there's, 6'3" Gaston next to 5'0" me. And I'm like, I feel like a little kid standing next to him. But no, I love that can go completely unscripted, that show. And, they have the scripted parts, but it relies on the kids who are playing the parts to make it work. So it's a lot of fun. It's so funny.
It is. It's so funny. And and it's another thing because I know a lot of people say like, oh, it's basically just a Belle meet and greet. And
I disagree with that so much. I disagree with that completely.
It's so much more than that, you guys. Don't
it's
miss
a
it
show.
Because you think that.
There's really good effects inside. I mean, the Lumiere animatronic is amazing.
Oh, yeah, he is great. And we never talk about it.
The mirror effect that takes you to Beast Castle is awesome.
It's really, really cool.
So well done. I still don't know how it's done because I didn't look it up and I don't want to know because I'm amazed by it.
No, it's one of the few things that you will not look up.
I won't look it up. I just want to be, I want that to be magical for me.
Yes.
Every time. I want it to be magic. So, like Pete Holmes says, we live in an unmagical world all the time. Let this be magical. Let it be magic.
I like everything to be magic.
I like magic. I'm a nerd. I like magic. Okay, so I love it. So that's a great pick for you to end your portion of the show on.
Amy out.
I'm going to cough again. Hold on. Yes, so I edited that too because I coughed. I think you joined me again.
It's really funny. Like as soon as you pause it so you can cough, I'm like, well, I might as well get my cough out. So
you cough too. You just like force a quick cough out.
We're both just like sitting here coughing together.
And then I just hit recording and like nothing happened.
Really weird.
So all right, so I have a couple more that we didn't get. Like I want to finish with one, but then I have a couple honorable mentions.
Oh, yeah, finish with the
Actually, no, I don't want it to be an honorable mention because these are good ones. So I'll just kind of I'll rattle off two and then I'll go to my big one.
Sounds good.
Muppet Vision 3D, I think. I don't know how that's not on your list either.
I did have it and then I
super funny. Really, really enjoyable. We both love the Muppets. Yeah, the jokes are old. The jokes are 30 years old. I think
it's only I didn't put it on because it doesn't change.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
Even though it's really funny, but it really has always been the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. It's it's been there forever, so the jokes are the same. But
that
for me,
take away
it's
from
really
the
funny.
enjoyment.
Yeah, it's still fun. I still laugh at them.
Me too. Every time.
Yeah, like I still whenever Fozzie does the banana cream pie and it's remote control.
Yes.
And whenever Sweetums comes out at the end.
Oh, I love Sweetums.
With the water bucket and it's confetti. I still laugh at that every time. So it's a really funny one. Another one that we didn't mention that I wanted to mention before the show is out is Country Bear Jamboree.
I almost had that, but I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
On the show.
No, you have done it a couple times and I have too, but I'm still going to mention it because
it's hysterical.
It makes me laugh every time.
And actually,
come on, Mama, don't whip little Buford. Mama, don't whip.
I can't possibly do blood on the floor right now with my voice.
Blood on the
saddle. Whatever, blood on the floor. He says it.
Blood on the ground.
Ground. Anyway, I can't really do my actual voice, but no. But what also I want to say is, what's funny about that show too is before it now, the cast member always comes in and tells their own couple jokes.
They're very corny bear jokes.
Very corny.
Unbearable jokes.
Yes, but they change as well. And it's really fun and that just kind of starts it off.
Yeah, he talks about like we've had both male and female cast members do it. And they talk about how their jokes aren't going to be unbearable.
Yes.
It's really funny.
It's hysterical.
And they have some really bad funny jokes. Like
Right. But
they're
it just
dad
gets you
jokes.
laughing.
They're dad bear jokes is what they kind of are.
It's exactly what they are.
Like I said, Mama Don't Whoop Little Buford, I think you should shoot him instead. Still makes me laugh every time.
Every time.
Big Al when he sings, Blood on a Saddle. Henry is hilarious.
Yes.
Liver Lips McGraw when he does.
They're
Like,
all great.
all the songs are great. Who can ever forget? Is it Trixie?
Trixie.
Tears Will Be the Chaser for My Wine.
Yes.
Come on, it's a great song.
It is great.
Again, and the little bears from the Sunshine State who sing
Oh, yeah.
all the guys who turn me on, turn me down. Like, you could never make that attraction now.
No.
2019, if that was never made, an Imagineer's like, I had this idea for a show, and he plays the lyrics, they're going to be like, no, we're not putting this in.
Right.
Our
Because
culture is
it's
so
already
PC
there.
now that you couldn't do it.
No.
But I think it's still hilarious.
To me, it's funny as well.
So yeah, so I wanted to make sure we mentioned Country Bears because I love it. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's old. But listen, I hope it never goes away.
Me too. I love
It bums me out that it's not in Disneyland when we go.
Yeah.
And listen, Winnie the Pooh is a great attraction out there. It's really enjoyable. I love the differences.
It's so different and
But
it's so fun.
But it's still, you miss Country Bears.
I get it.
My last one, the one I wanted to end with, the one I said I was building toward, and we didn't mention it at all during this episode.
I've actually been
is
waiting for it.
the world famous Jungle Cruise.
Oh, of course.
Of course, it's the funniest attraction in all of Walt Disney World. Of course it is. The jokes, listen, if you read about the history of the Jungle Cruise when it opened in Disneyland.
Yes, there's a lot to it.
It was a serious ride.
Very different.
Serious river cruise down, through the rivers of the world, right? Through the Amazon, the Nile, what other rivers I don't know, whatever the other ones are.
Those are the ones I mentioned.
I don't know. But it is, over the years, obviously, the animatronics kind of look like animatronics now.
Right.
And they made it a very, very witty, very funny, like hilarious attraction to ride.
Like laughing at itself, making fun of itself.
Right. Making fun of that it's been there since opening day,
Right.
that it's a little bit older, but it's still, it makes it way more enjoyable, I think.
It totally does. That's what makes it so fun.
And when you get a good skipper on Jungle Cruise, you have the best time. Listen, Jungle Cruise is like, let's give it a 10-point rating system, right?
Okay, I'm ready.
Jungle Cruise with a lousy skipper is a 7.
Which is still pretty high.
Right. But that's as low as it goes for me. That's just not getting worse than a 7.
No, because it's still good.
But because they still do the jokes, but they don't deliver them with the same.
And by lousy,
panache.
you just mean someone who's not that into it.
Yeah, someone who's going through the motions.
Exactly.
Chris from Orlando, who has done forgot his name tag that day, is Chris from Orlando. And his name really is like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. What's his real name?
Something fun. Or something.
Wilfred.
Yes.
He's really Wilfred, but today he's Chris from Orlando because Wilfred forgot his name tag. And he's going through the motions. He's having a bad day. And he's doing the jokes, but he's not really
Probably
putting
got
any.
a flat tire
Yeah, so
on the way to work.
poor Wilfred does it. He still gets a 7 for me because he delivers the jokes, even though he's not delivering them with the same attitude as a great tour guide or as a great skipper would. Skipper, sorry.
Skipper, but I do feel like when you're getting on, you can already tell.
Yeah,
as soon as you get on,
when they're
by
seating
the facial
people,
expression and the way that they're seating people, you know what kind of skipper it's going to be.
So we've had some great skippers over the years,
amazing skippers,
and the jokes are great. There's the denial joke. You're in denial. There's I
think the best skippers are the deadpan ones.
Yeah, the ones that don't laugh. Yeah. They're the absolute best. We had a girl. Wasn't in Disneyland. It was Walt Disney World, maybe last year. She reminded me of Aubrey Plaza, the actress from Parks and Rec.
Yep.
Who had glasses. Was wearing glasses.
Oh yes, I remember her.
Completely deadpanned every joke, and it made it so much funnier.
It did.
Like she did, just talked with no affection, just like this, and it was so good. She did the. Excuse me, I'm going to hiccup. Am I going to hiccup? No. I'm okay. Coughing, hiccuping, burping. It's a very professional recording.
You got a lot going on today.
No, so I've said the joke that I love the most is my favorite one when you get stuck and the skipper says, now that we have a couple of minutes, I'd like to point out some of my favorite plants to you folks. There's that one. Oh, and that one over there. And as they're pointing to different plants, hilarious. And I remember her doing that, but with that You know how you say when...
Very dry.
Yeah, there's the dead voice almost.
Oh, when you're dead inside.
Yeah, it's like the dead inside voice. We say that, this is really funny. This is a really quick story. Why Amy said dead inside? Because we have very picky eaters. And our oldest is a super, super picky eater, has a little bit of food anxiety. So it's a real thing. Look it up, food anxiety. It's tough because she only eats...
It's actually an eating disorder.
Right, and she only eats a handful of things, and it's really hard. But it's really, what's really, we make everything. Amy and I, we try to make the best of everything. We try to laugh. Even through the really difficult things, we try to laugh. So we have this running joke that she and I do about when she eats...
Because sometimes, I'll be getting food ready for, myself or for one of the other kids, and she'll come up to me and she'll say, "Oh, can I have that?" And
she's never eaten it before. It's like pizza.
And I know.
Which most kids love pizza, but she doesn't eat it.
Never pizza. She never asked for pizza.
No, I know.
But, no, I get it. And so, and I know.
It might be a chicken finger. How about a chicken finger? She'll do that.
Perfect. So I know that if I make any kind of reaction, it's going to put... What happens is she feels like we're putting pressure on her, or she's putting pressure on herself. And so if we have a reaction, then she gets freaked out and she won't do it. So if she says can I have a chicken finger? Which of course inside there's fireworks going off.
Yeah, you're so excited, but you can't show.
So proud of her, but I can't. So I'm like,
you gotta,
sure, here you go. And I throw it in her direction.
The dead inside.
And not even look at her. And then she eats it.
Yes. So the dead inside approach works.
It works, and it works for
she'll be but then afterwards,
for everyday life and for
but afterwards you can celebrate. But during, I'm like, oh, you want to eat this French fry? Yeah, you can eat this French fry.
That's exactly right.
And then later you're like, yeah.
But the funniest
thing
is,
I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just sometimes I forget. I'm so in dead inside mode that after she eats it, she's like, "Didn't you care that I just did that one?" I'm like, "Oh right, I forgot. I'm allowed to have a reaction now."
But yes. You're right. It works for children who don't eat anything.
Also,
and
Jungle Cruise Skipper.
For the Jungle Cruise Skipper, the dead inside approach. I've never been a Jungle Cruise Skipper, but I think if I was, that's the way I would want to play.
I totally think you would.
You tell all the zinger jokes, but you try to deliver them with no emotion.
I think it's so funny.
It makes it way funnier. It really does. You're right. And listen, some of them are really enthusiastic about being on Jungle Cruise.
And that's fun. That could be
funny.
So
they tell jokes with just a lot of enthusiasm. That's also funny.
Sure it is.
But to me, I enjoy that. I enjoy that, the dead inside approach. Anyway.
That was a great pick.
Thank you. That was all of them. I think we went through all my 10 and all your 5. A couple of them overlapped.
Yeah, because we tag teamed a bunch.
But listen, regardless, it's just so much fun to go to Walt Disney World. There's so many funny attractions, so many that you're just going to laugh. And like we said, you're going to laugh your butt off on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad or Slinky Dog Dash or Tower of Terror. You're definitely going to laugh because people were freaking out.
Yes, laughing at reactions.
You're going to laugh at everything.
You're going to laugh at Splash Mountain for sure when people get wet. Oh my god!
Oh my god! Yeah. I love when you're at the bottom of Splash Mountain and you just act like, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yes, of course.
So many people are so upset that they get soaked on that ride.
I know, they have no clue.
I don't get it. It's called Splash
Mountain.
Yeah. And there's signs. First, it's you might get wet.
There are so many signs.
And then later, right before you ride, there's Brer Rabbit soaked with water dripping off him on a sign. And it says, you will get wet.
Right.
You know you're going to get wet.
It warns you. It tells you.
The first 2 rows, you're going to get drenched on Splash Mountain.
Really soaked.
Drenched. I try to duck.
It doesn't work.
I try to duck behind into the log as low as I can get. It never works. But then my back ends up soaked.
Yeah, of course.
And that's not comfortable.
Well,
but it dries fast. Anyway, this was fun. This was an awesome one.
This was so much fun. Thank you guys for putting up with our
Yes, I was going to say, as hard as it was to get through, I think we stopped at least 10 times.
We definitely did.
I don't know if you'll pick up on it when listening. Probably. There's nothing I could do. We tried to edit them out.
We did the best we could, but you would not have wanted to hear our coughs.
No. I think I left 1 or 2 in there, but I tried to get them all out of there.
You did great.
Anyway, this was fun. You were awesome.
Thank
you for recording, even though you can't say 3 words without going into a hysterical coughing fit.
I didn't want to miss it. This was a really fun one.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There Disney Podcast. Thank you so much again to my co-host, Amy Liz. And thank you especially, I know I mentioned it 5 times, but she is pretty sick. So thank you for coming on and recording with me. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Oh, and I wanted to mention that What About Bob is not gone. That segment will keep happening. just that Bob and I have had very different schedules lately, meaning I've been recording at night mostly, and Bob records during the day, so it's been tough. But you will hear Bob in future episodes of the show. So thank you again so much for listening. You were awesome. I hope you enjoyed the show. Just remember, there will be a new episode of the podcast next week, barring any crazy illnesses, as well as a new episode of the Ear to There Disney podcast, Walt Disney World Word of the Week. So until next time, thank you again so much for listening. Have yourself an amazing week. Bye-bye.
Ear to there.